In this lesson, I'm going to show you guys how do we use schemas effectively. First of all, let's go to the schema.cml. Take a look at the schemas inside. Now, as you recall, schemas are things that we have a schematic symbol, but without any PCB symbol. Now, let's say I have some a part here that I need to connect VCC and ground. Let's say this point is to ground, this point is to ground, this is ground, and this is the VCC. Okay, so I'm going to go to schema, take out the ground schema. Okay, and I can connect this point to ground. This point I can connect them together, or alternatively I can go and take out another ground schema, is here, and connect this point to ground, and they are physically connected. Right. Perhaps in this case it's the prices, so I'm going to connect it back here. Right, I'm going to take out another ground schema. Right. Connect this point to ground. Right. And I'm going to take out a VCC schema. I'm going to place up here. I'm going to connect pin 4 to the schema and pin 8 as well. And this point is also connected to VCC. So I'm going to, instead of connecting them one ground to the VCC point, I'm going to take out another VCC schema. And I'm going to connect this point. And they become physically connected together. Now, sometimes you want to be careful. You want to check that the net is indeed a ground net, right? A common mistake sometimes you might make is that, let's say for example, you delete the net and you add it back. If you can see clearly now, the name of the net is no longer ground. So what you need to do is, you want to right click, change the net back to ground, so that your routes later will be correct. Okay. Now, next I'm going to show you guys how I will place a part that has is on one physical IC, but they have two physical logical symbols. Right, I'm going to place a JK flip-flop. As you can see in this JK flip-flop at the preview, it's actually 140 pin IC. Okay, but the parts is actually two parts inside this IC. Okay. So I'm going to add. First time I place the part, place the part A. The second time I place part B goes in. We take a closer look. Right. Okay, the two parts are slightly different. You can see this J here is pin 1, and then pin 4 for K. The other one is pin 8 and pin 11 of the same chip. Right? And how do we identify that they belong to the same chip? If you look carefully, and it says U2A, and the other one says U2B over the other side. So it's actually ICU2, part A and part B. Right. So I'm going to do some connections using schemas. Right. Connect the PCC. After connecting, you can see that the VCC is over the 555 timer. The VCC is at the other chip is they are connected together. Right. I'm going to continue to connect. Do some more connections using more schemas. Okay, this is a clear. I'm going to use VCC schema to tie to high. First clear is active low. If I tie to high, it will not be activated. the output of the JK flip-flop to the clock of the second one. And I want to make the flip-flops in toggle mode, so I'm going to tie both J and K's to 1, to logic 1. Okay, the net will change to VCC. And place another one on the other side. Okay, so as you can see, the VCCs and the ground, they're all connected. Okay, they will, as you can see later in the PCB. Okay, next I'm going to show you guys another type of schema. Let's say, for example, I want to connect my output of 555 timer to the clock of the JK flip-flop. You can connect them this way. Sometimes due to physical constraint, they are very far apart. So instead of doing a very long line to connect these two, all we can do is you can go to schema. There's a tool schema, and then we can draw out the tool schema. It looks like an output arrow, and then we can connect the out to the tool, and then I'm going to go for a from schema. That which looks like this. I'm going to draw out the from schema. Then I'm going to connect the clock input to the from schema. Now these two nets are not joined yet. Now I'm going to go click on this net. I right click, change net. I'm going to change to a name that I would understand. Perhaps let me just type clock. And I select signal, okay. We display the net. Over here, I'm going to select the net, same thing. I right click, change net, I choose clock. Okay, and display the net. Now these two lines are now connected. They are in the same network. So later you will see in the PCB that they will be in fact connected.